Hi dear students, welcome to Chemistry Online Classes. I'm Virpakshi BP. In last video, we were discussing about IUPAC nomenclature. Yes, we were discussing about IUPAC nomenclature. Here, to write IUPAC names for coordination compounds, there are some general rules. Now let us discuss the general rules one by one. Here the first rule, naming of ligands. Here in last video we have learned the types of ligands. Based on the charts, there are three types of ligands. One is positive ligands, the second one is neutral ligands, the third one is negative ligands. Here, the positive ligands, the name of positive ligands always end with the suffix ium, right? The name of positive ligands always end with the suffix ium. For example, see here, this is positive ligand. So name of this ligand is end with the ium. So nitronium ion. It becomes nitronium ion. See here, the name of this ligand is also end with the ium. So it is nitrosonium. Next, hydrogenium. So here it is positive ligand. So the name of this ligand is end with the ium. Okay. Next, neutral ligands. Neutral ligands have no special suffix. For neutral ligands, we don't use any suffix. For example, ammonia. Ammonia in the coordination compounds, we name it as amine. For water, we have to name it as aqua. For carbonyl, carbonyl. This is nitrosyl. These all are neutral compounds, neutral ligands. For neutral ligands, there is no special suffix. Next, negative ligands. Negative ligands end with the suffix "o". This is very, very important here. Negative ligands always end with the suffix "o". See here, for example, this is chloride. Actually, it is a chloride. Here I will write Cl minus. Actually, it is a this what? This chloride. It is a chloride. It is the negative ligand. That's why the name of negative ligand always end with the O. That's why here E get replaced by O. E will replace it by O. When E get replaced by O, then it becomes chlorido. It becomes chlorido. Initially it is chloride, but now it is chlorido. Why? Because in coordination compound, according to the general rule, all negative ligands end with the suffix "o". Next, for example, another example, cyanido. Cyanido. Actually, it is cyanide, but you have to name it as cyanido, chlorido. Next, bromido, iodido. Okay, this is the first general rule. Next, the second general rule is use prefixes. Use prefixes like di, tri, tetra, etc. These prefixes indicates the number of individual ligands in coordination sphere. For example, in the coordination sphere, more than one ligands are present. In such cases, we have to use di, tri, tetra, penta, hexa. For example, potassium ferrocyanide. Potassium ferrocyanide. Here, this is the coordination sphere. In coordination sphere, how many ligands are there? There are more than one ligands are there, 6. That's why for 6, the prefix is hexa, hexacyanido. We have to mention hexa. Okay. If 4 ligands are present, then tetra. Okay. If 3 ligands are there, then we have to use prefix tri. If 2 ligands are present in the coordination sphere, then you have to use di. Okay. This is the second general rule. Next, come to the third one here. Bis, tris, and tetrakis, etc. These type of prefixes we have to use when when the ligand name includes number. When the ligand name includes number, in such cases, instead of di, tri, tetra, we have to use bis trace. For example, here there is one coordination compound is given. See here the ligand is En. En, what is the full form of En? See here now, here I will write ethane 1 comma 2 diamine. This is the En. This is the short form. En means ethane 1 comma 2 diamine. See here in the name of ligand only there are numbers. The name of ligand includes number. For these type of ligands, instead of di, we have to use bis. Why? Because here how many En ligands are there? Two ligands. If three ligands are there, you have to use trace. Okay. When you have to use bis, tris, and tetra, kiss, when the ligand name includes numbers. In such cases, instead of prefixes like di, tri, tetra, you have to use bis, tris. This is the third general rule. Next, the central metal atom name remains same for cationic and neutral complexes. Yes, for cationic complexes and neutral complexes, the central metal atom name remains same. There is no change in the name of central metal atom for cationic and neutral complexes. Next, the fifth general rule, the central metal atom name end with the suffix 8 for anionic complexes. Okay, this is very important. See here, the central metal atom name end with the suffix 8 for anionic complexes. For example, if aluminium is present in the anionic complex, then here in this case the aluminium is named as aluminate. Why? Because this aluminium is act as central metal atom in anionic complex. That's why according to the fifth general rule, all central metal atom name end with the suffix 8. So it is the central metal atom. So it is end with the 8, aluminate. Okay. Another example, if platinum is present in anionic complex as central metal atom, then the platinum is named as the platinate. Okay. The name of central metal atom is end with the 8. This is the fifth general rule. Next, the sixth general rule, cation is always named first. Yes, here there are two types of ions. One is cation and one is anion. First, we have to name the cation. After writing the name of cation, next we have to write the name of anion. These are the general rules. Okay, by using these general rules, we have to write the names of coordination compounds. Now let us learn how to write the names for cationic coordination complexes. First, let us learn how to write IUPAC names for cationic complexes. Here, let us see. Here, for cationic complexes, to write IUPAC name, there is a special formula. There is a specific formula is there. By using this specific formula, you can easily write IUPAC names for cationic complexes. Okay, now let us see what is the specific formula for cationic complexes. Now let's check here. See here, in this formula, first, according to this formula, first you have to write name of the ligands in alphabetical order. For cationic complexes, first you have to write name of ligands in alphabetical order. Next, after name of the ligands, next we have to write name of transition metal. After writing the name of the transition metal, next we have to write oxidation number in Roman number. We have to calculate oxidation number. After calculation oxidation number, we have to mention in Roman numbers. After writing oxidation number, here you have to write name of simple outside the complex ion, simple anions outside the complex ions. Okay, now let us check one example here. This is the formula. If you know this formula, you can easily write IUPAC names for cationic complex. Here, this is the coordination compound. This is the cationic complex. Sir, how to identify whether the given compound is the cationic complex or anionic complex? There is a small trick I will explain. Okay, see here. We know according to the sixth rule. According to the sixth rule, what is the sixth rule here? What is the sixth rule? Cation is always named first. Yes, just you follow that rule. Here, see here, we know that coordination compounds, it contains two types. It contains two types. One is ionization sphere, another one is non-ionization sphere, right? Here, this part, this is a ionization sphere. So this is what non-ionization sphere. Non-ionization sphere. Non-ionization sphere is called coordination sphere. This is called the ionization sphere. Ionization sphere means counter ions. Okay. See here, first non-ionic, non-ionizable complex ion is present. Okay. Here counter ions are present after the complex ion. This is the complex ion. Okay. This is the complex ion. Here counter ions are present after the complex ion. That's why this complex ion is a cationic complex. Cationic complex. Simple, it is very simple. If counter ions are present after the complex ion, then counter ions are act as anion. The complex ion is act as a cation. The complex ion is act as cation. Okay, this is cationic complex. Here, according to the general formula, first we have to write name of the ligands in alphabetical order. Here, there is only one type of ligands are there. Okay, first step, here we have to write ligands. See here, in coordination sphere, how many ligands are there? 6. 6 means what is the prefix here? Hexa. So, hexaamine. Next, step 2. In the step 2, you have to mention name of transition metal. In this complex, what is the central metal atom here? Cobalt. The central metal atom is cobalt. Next, what is the third step? In the third step, you have to calculate oxidation number. Okay, now let us calculate oxidation number of cobalt here. Already we have learned how to calculate oxidation number of central metal atom. First, let us consider X because we don't know oxidation number of cobalt. Next, how many amine groups are there? 6. So, into what is the oxidation number of amine? Here, NH3. This is ammonia. It is a neutral molecule. So, oxidation number is 0 less. How many counter ions are there? 3. Then, what is the oxidation number of each chlorine? -1 is equal to 0. Now you just simplify this one. X plus 6 into 0, 0. 3 1 3 minus 3. Next you get, finally you will get plus 3. What is the oxidation number of cobalt? Plus 3. What is the next step here? What is the fourth step? Name of the simple cation, anions, counter ions. Next you have to name it as counter ions. Here, what type of counter ions are present? Chloride. Now, let us write the IUPAC name for the given compound. Okay, see here, this is the IUPAC name. First, you have to write name of the ligands. What is the name of ligand? Hexaamine. Hexaamine. Next, name of the transition metal. Here, cobalt. Next, oxidation number in Roman numbers. Here, the oxidation number of cobalt is plus 3. So, we have to write in Roman numbers. Next, counter ion. What is the counter ion here? Chloride. Okay. In this way, you have to name, you have to write IUPAC names for cationic complexes. Okay. You have to just remember general rules and you have to practice this formula also. Okay. If you know the formula, you can easily write IUPAC names for cationic complexes. Okay, here there are some examples are given. You have to write IUPAC names for these compounds. Okay, please try to write IUPAC names for these given coordination compounds. These are the coordination compounds. Here, don't worry, same formula and same procedure. Okay, just you have to follow the general rules and general formula. These all are cations, cationic complexes. Why these all are cationic complexes? See here counter ions are present after the complex ion. That's why complex ion is act as cationic complex. Here also see, this is complex ion, this is counter ions. If counter ions are present after the complex ion, then here the complex ion act as cationic complex. Next, let us understand how to write IUPAC names for anionic complexes. Okay, here for anionic complexes also there is a general formula. You have to follow this general formula to write IUPAC names for anionic complexes. Okay, don't worry. I will explain how to identify whether the given compound is anionic complex or not. According to the general formula for anionic complexes, first you have to write the name of simple cation outside the complex. Here first you have to write the name of simple cation outside the complex. Outside the complex, ions are called counter ions. Okay, for anionic complexes, first you have to write names of counter ions. Next, you have to write a name of ligands. Next, you have to write name of ligands in alphabetical order. Next, you have to write Latin name of transition metals. Yes, for anionic complexes, the central metal atom is end with the suffix "ate." We have already discussed. The name of central metal atoms end with "ate" for anionic complexes. Next, or the finally, you have to mention oxidation number in Roman numbers. Okay, now let us consider an example here. This is the example. We don't know name of this compound. Now let us write the name. Now let us write the name for this compound. See here, sir, how to identify whether it is anionic complex or cationic complex? Here counter ions are present before the complex ion. This is the complex ion. This is what? This is complex ion. If counter ions are present before the complex ion, then the complex ion act as an anion. It is act as anion. So it is anionic complex. To write IUPAC names for anionic complex, you have to follow this formula only. Okay. Now let us write the name of simple cation outside the complex. Okay, see here, what type of ions are present as counter ions? Potassium. So this is the first step. Here, potassium ions. Next step 2, name of the ligand. Here, what type of ligands are present here? Only one type of ligands are there. And how many ligands are there? 6. So here the prefix is hexa. What is the name of this ligand? The name of this ligand is cyanido. It is not cyanide. It is cyanido according to the general formula. Next, general rules. Next, central metal atom. See here, Latin name of transition metals. That means here the central metal atom, the name of central metal atom is end with the suffix "ate." So here the ferrate. See here the name of this metal is end with the "ate," ferrate. This is the Latin name of transition metal. Here transition metal is iron. Here iron is named as ferrate, 8. Okay. Next, step 4, oxidation number. Here you have to calculate oxidation number of iron. Okay. Here first, how many potassium ions are there? 4. The oxidation number of each potassium is plus 1. So 4 into plus 1, 4 plus X because we don't know oxidation number of iron. Next plus how many cyanide ions are there? 6. And what is the oxidation number of cyanide ion? Minus 1 is equal to 0. Next X plus 6 into minus 1 is equal to minus 6. So minus 6 plus 4. So then we will get, if you simplify this one, we'll get finally X is equal to plus 2. This is the oxidation number of iron, okay, in the coordination compound. Next, let us write the IUPAC name for given compound. Here, according to the general formula for anionic complexes, first what you have to write, you have to mention name of counter ion. What is the name of counter ion? Potassium. Next, name of the ligand, here hexacyanido. Next, Latin name is ferrate. Next, oxidation number in Roman numbers. Okay, in this way you have to write names, IUPAC names for anionic complexes. Okay, it is very simple. Here there are some examples are there. You have to write uh, IUPAC names for these given compounds. Okay. Okay, these are the coordination compounds. For these coordination compounds, you try to write IUPAC names. You only try because it is very simple. If you try to write IUPAC names, then you will learn. Otherwise, you don't learn. Next, let us learn how to write IUPAC names for neutral complexes. Till now, we have learned how to write IUPAC names for anionic complexes and cationic complexes. Next, let us learn how to write IUPAC names for neutral complexes. So here, this is the neutral complexes. Here, for neutral complexes also, there is a general formula. By using this general formula, you can easily write IUPAC names for neutral complexes. Sir, how to identify whether the given compounds are neutral complexes or not? If there is no counter ions, if there is only complex ion is present, then you can say that the given compound is neutral complex. Here, for neutral complex, in the general formula, first we have to write name of ligand with the alphabetical order. Okay. Next, we have to write common name of transition metal. Next, we have to write oxidation state in Roman number. Okay. This is the general formula to write IUPAC names for neutral complexes. Okay, don't worry. I will explain here how to identify whether the given compound is neutral complex or it is anionic complex or it is cationic complex. Here, this is the coordination compounds. This is the coordination compound. Now tell me, in this coordination compound, is there counter ion? Is there counter ion? There is no counter ion. So this is a neutral complex. This is what neutral complex is. Now let us write IUPAC name for neutral complex. Here, first you have to write the name of ligand with alphabetical order. Okay. First step, ligand. What type of ligands are present here? Carbonyl ligands are present. What type of ligands are there? Carbonyl ligands. How many carbonyl ligands are there? 4. What is the prefix here? Tetra. Tetracarbonyl. Okay. Next, step 2, you have to write the central metal atom. Okay. You have to write central metal atom. Here, what is the central metal atom? Nickel. What is the step 3 here? We have to calculate oxidation number of nickel. Here, this is the EX because we don't know the oxidation number of nickel. Plus, how many carbonyl groups are there? 4. And what is the oxidation number of carbonyl group? Here, this is the neutral molecule. So, oxidation number of carbonyl group is 0. That's why X plus 4 into 0 is equal to 0. Finally, X is equal to 0. What is the oxidation number here? What is the oxidation number of nickel? 0.
Now let us write IUPAC name for this coordination compound. So here, first we have to write what you have to write first. We have to mention name of the ligand. How many ligands are there? 4. So tetracarbonyl, next nickel. Okay, tetracarbonyl nickel. For neutral complexes, there is no change in the name of transition metal. Only there is a change in name of transition metal in case of anions. Okay, in this way you have to write IUPAC names for given coordination compound. Okay, here examples are given. So if you please try to write IUPAC names for these neutral ligands. These both are neutral ligands because there is no counter ion. Okay, please try because same procedure. Okay, it is very simple, same procedure. Please try to write IUPAC names for these two ligands. Okay, next let us discuss about isomerism in coordination compounds. This is very important for 2 marks. Okay, here just you have to write definition and example. Only you have to write definition and example. Okay, first let us understand what is isomerism. What is isomerism? When two or more compounds have same molecular formula but different arrangement of atoms are called isomers, and this phenomenon is called isomerism. Okay, here see what is isomerism here. When two or more compounds, when two or more compounds have same molecular formula same, but what is the different here? The arrangement of atoms is different. The arrangement of atoms is different. These type of complexes are called isomers. Okay, the phenomenon is called isomerism. Now let us discuss the types of isomerism. Okay, here isomerism is mainly classified into two types. One is the structural isomerism. The second one is stereoisomerism. Okay, here the structural isomerism further classified into four types. One is ionization isomerism. The second one is hydrate or solvate isomerism. Next, the third one is the linkage isomerism. The fourth one is the coordination isomerism. Here, the stereoisomerism also further classified into two types. One is geometrical isomerism. Here, geometrical isomerism is also called as a cis-trans isomerism. Next, the second one is optical isomerism. Yes, this is the classification of isomerism. It is very simple. First, what is isomerism? When two or more compounds have same molecular formula. They have same molecular formula, but there is a different arrangement of atoms. It's called isomerism. Okay, isomerism mainly it is classified into two types. One is structural and the one is stereo. Okay, structural isomerism further classified into four types. One is ionization isomerism. The second one is hydrate isomerism, linkage isomerism, and coordination isomerism. Okay, next second type, stereoisomerism. It is further classified into two types. One is geometrical isomerism. The second one is optical isomerism. Now let us discuss one by one. Because these definitions and examples are very important for 2 marks. In the exam, just they will ask definition and examples. Otherwise, they will mention one compound. They will only mention compound and they will ask you to identify these compounds are examples for which type of isomerism. Now let us understand structural isomerism. First, let us discuss about structural isomerism. Here, in structural isomerism, the two compounds have same chemical formula but different bonds. Here, There is the same molecular formula but different bonds. Structure. Structural isomerism means they have same chemical formula but they have different types of bonds. Okay, now come to the types of structural isomerism. Yes, in structural isomerism, the first one is the ionization isomerism. Now let us understand what is ionization isomerism. Here, two complex compounds having same molecular formula. Two complex compounds have same molecular formula, but they give different ions when they dissolve in water. Here, two complex compounds have same molecular formula, but when you dissolve in water, they produce different ions. These type of complexes are called ionization isomers, and the phenomenon is called ionization isomerism. Here, for example, here this is one complex and this is another complex. Here, these both compounds, these two complexes have same molecular formula. See, there is a one cobalt, there is a 5 amine group, one bromine and one sulfate ion. Here also one cobalt, 5 amine groups, one sulfate ion and one bromine ion. There is the same molecular formula. There is the same molecular formula. Both compounds have same molecular formula, but when you dissolve in water, they produce different ions. Here, the first compound, the first coordination compound, it gives the sulfate ion. When you dissolve in water, they produce sulfate ion. Here, the second compound, when you dissolve in water, they produce bromine ion, bromide ion. Here, both compounds have same molecular formula, but they produce different ions when they dissolve in water. These type of complexes are called ionization isomers, and the phenomenon is called ionization isomerism. Next, let us understand about linkage isomerism. Next, let us discuss about linkage isomerism. This is the second type of structural isomerism. What is linkage isomerism? Here, two complex compounds having same molecular formula, but different ligating atoms can donate lone pair electrons. Okay, see here, this is very important. Two complex compounds having same molecular formula, but different ligands, they donate lone pair of electrons to the central metal ion. Here, both compounds have same molecular formula, but in both compounds, different ligands donate lone pair of electrons to central metal atom. Here, for example, here there is two compounds. This is one compound and this is second compound. Here, in the molecular formula of this compound and molecular formula of this compound is same. Here, in the first compound, there is one cobalt and 5 amine group and one NO2 group and one Cl2 molecule. Here also one cobalt and 5 amine group and NO2 and Cl2. Here same molecular formula. Molecular formula is same, but here the different ligands donate lone pair of electrons to central metal atom. Now let us check here. The structures are given. If you look at the structure, you can easily understand the meaning of linkage isomerism. Here, this is the first compound. This is the second compound. This is the second compound. So here, this is the structure of first compound. This is the central metal atom, cobalt. For central metal atom, the amine groups are attached because amine groups are what? They are ligands. How many amine groups are there? 5 amine groups are there. 5 amine groups are attached. And there is one more ligand also there, that is NO2. In first compound, here in NO2, nitrogen has donated lone pair electrons to the central metal atom. That's why there is a bond between cobalt and nitrogen. But in second case, in second compound, here same, the cobalt is attached with oxygen. It is not attached with nitrogen because here oxygen has donated lone pair of electrons to the central metal atom. Here, both complex compounds have same molecular formula, but here different ligands donate lone pair of electrons to the central metal atom. Here in first compound, nitrogen has donated lone pair of electrons to the central metal atom. In second compound, oxygen is donated lone pair electrons to the central metal atom. These type of complexes are called linkage isomers, and the phenomenon is called linkage isomerism. Okay. Next, the third type of structural isomerism. The third type of isomerism is hydration isomerism or solvation isomerism. Now let us understand what is hydration isomerism. Two complex compounds having same molecular formula. Yes, two complex compounds have same molecular formula, but different number of water molecules present as a ligand. Okay, these type of isomers are called hydrate isomers, or we can call it as solvate isomers. Okay, now let us discuss examples. Here, these compounds have same molecular formula. Now let us check here. This is cobalt, one cobalt, 6 water molecules, and 3 chlorine chloride ions. Okay, here also one cobalt and 5 water molecules. This is one another water molecule. Total 6 water molecules, and this is one chloride, and this is 2 chloride ions. Total 3 chloride ions. See, these two compounds have same molecular formula. They have same molecular formula. Then what is the difference between these two complexes? Here, the number of water molecules act as the ligand. In the first complex, how many water molecules are act as the ligand? How many water molecules are act as ligand? 6. But in the second complex, only 5 water molecules are act as ligand. This is the difference. This difference and these type of complexes are called hydration isomers. The phenomenon is called hydration isomerism. Here, just let us understand here what is hydration isomerism. It is very simple. Two or more complexes, two complex compounds having same molecular formula. They have same molecular formula, but different number of water molecules are present as ligand. Yes, these two complexes have same molecular formula, but in the first complex, the 6 water molecules are act as ligand. In the second compound, 5 water molecules are act as ligand. There is a difference in number of water molecules present as ligand. Okay, this is the hydration isomerism. Next, let us discuss about coordination isomerism. What is the coordination isomerism? Here, it is also very simple. Two complex compounds having same molecular formula, but the ligands are interchanged between the cation and anionic entities of different metal ions are called coordination isomerism. Very, very simple here. Here also, two complex compounds have same molecular formula, but the ligands are interchanged between the cation and anionic complexes. Okay, here this is one coordination compound, and this is another coordination compound. Here, this is this is first coordination complex, and this is second coordination complex. Here, these two coordination complexes have same molecular formula, because here there is one cobalt, and here also there is one cobalt, and here there are 6 amine groups, and here also there are 6 amine groups. And here also one chromium, and here also one chromium, and here 6 cyanide groups, and here also 6 cyanide groups. Both have same molecular formula, but there is a difference in ligand. There is a difference in ligand. See here in this compound, the cobalt is surrounded by which type of ligand here? It is surrounded by which type of ligand? Amine group. But in the second compound, the cobalt is surrounded by cyanide group. Here, see, just the ligands are interchanged. The ligands are interchanged. Okay. See here the chromium is surrounded by cyanide group. But in this compound, the chromium is surrounded by amine group. Here, both complex compounds have same molecular formula, but the ligands are interchanged in the compound. These type of compounds are called coordination isomers, and the phenomenon is called coordination isomerism. Okay. Next, let us discuss about stereoisomerism. Till now, we have learned what is structural isomerism and types of structural isomerism. Next, let us discuss about stereoisomerism. What is stereoisomerism? Same chemical formula and same bond, but there is a difference in spatial arrangement. Here, what is stereoisomerism? Stereoisomers have same chemical formula and same bond, but different spatial arrangement. Okay, stereoisomers have same chemical formula and same bond, but different spatial arrangement. Here, in stereoisomers, there are two types. One is geometrical isomerism, another one is optical isomerism. First, let us discuss about geometrical isomerism. Here, the geometrical isomerism is also called as a cis-trans isomerism. Now, let us understand what is the geometrical or cis-trans isomerism. Here, two or more complex compounds have same molecular formula. They have same molecular formula and also they have same ligand. Same molecular formula, same ligand. But what is the difference here? The different geometrical arrangement of ligands around the central metal atom. What is the difference here? There is a difference in geometrical arrangement of ligands around the central metal atom. What is geometrical isomerism? What is geometrical isomerism? Two or more compounds having same molecular formula and same ligand, but there is a different geometrical arrangement of ligands around the central metal atom. Here, for example, here there are two compounds. Just imagine these are the two compounds. This is the first compound and this is the second compound. Here, yes, the central metal atom and here the central metal atom both are same. Both are same. And the ligand, one is green color. Sorry, there are two green color ligands. Here also there are two green color ligands. And there are two blue color ligands. There are two blue color ligands. Here, these two complexes have same molecular formula. Why? Because here how many black the central metal atom is black. The central metal atom is black in first compound. In second compound also the central metal atom is black. And in first compound, how many green ligands are there? How many green ligands are there? 2. And how many blue ligands are there? 2. In second compound also, how many green ligands are there? 2. The green ligands are 2. The blue ligands are 2. Here, both have same molecular formula and same type of ligand. Yes, in the first compound also there are green ligand and blue ligand. In second compound also there are same 2 green ligands and 2 blue ligands. But what is the difference here? The difference is the geometrical arrangement of ligands around the central metal atom. Here, in the first compound, these green ligands are they are adjacent to each other. The identical ligands, that means green ligands. These green ligands are adjacent to each other. But in the second compound, these green ligands are opposite to each other. Okay, that's why this second compound is called as trans isomerism. The first compound is named as a cis isomerism. Here, these two complexes have same molecular formula, same types of ligands, but there is a difference in arrangement of ligands around the central metal atom. In the first compound, two green ligands are adjacent to each other, but in the second compound, two green ligands are opposite to each other. Okay, these type of isomers are called geometrical isomers. Here, the second point, the ligand occupy the position either adjacent to one another or opposite to one another. This phenomenon is called cis-trans isomerism. Yes, geometrical isomerism is also called as cis-trans isomerism, because here in first compound, here the green compounds are adjacent to each other. In the second compound, the green compounds are opposite to each other. That's why these complexes are also called as cis-trans isomers. Next, the third point. If similar ligands are adjacent to each other, then the isomer is called the cis isomer. Yes, here two similar. That means here two green color ligands. Two green ligands are adjacent to each other. That's why this complex is called a cis isomer. Next, in this complex, the ligands are opposite to each other. See here, this is green color and this is green color. Here, two green color ligands are opposite to each other. That's why this complex is named as a trans isomer. It is very simple. What is the geometrical isomerism? Two or more complex compounds have same molecular formula and same ligands, but there is a difference in geometrical arrangement of ligands. Okay, here say if identical ligands are adjacent to each other, then that isomer is called cis, and if ligands are opposite to each other, then such complex compounds are called trans isomers. Okay, next let us discuss some points regarding geometrical isomerism. The first one, it is shown by square planar complexes and the octahedral complexes. Here, the geometrical isomerism is shown by square planar complexes. Here, square planar complexes, the coordination number is 4. That means in square planar complexes, there are 4 ligands are surrounded, 4 ligands are present around the central metal atom. In octahedral complexes, 6 ligands are present around the central metal atom. Okay, here you have to remember the geometrical isomerism is shown by square planar complexes and octahedral complexes. It is not shown by tetrahedral complexes. Next, this type of isomerism arises in heteroleptic complexes. Yes. In previous video, we have learned what is heterocomplexes and what is homoleptic complexes. Yes, here geometrical isomers are possible in case of heteroleptic complexes. Here, what are heteroleptic complexes? The complexes in which the ligands are different types of ligands are present around the central metal atom are called heteroleptic complexes. Next, geometrical isomerism is exhibited by the square planar complexes of the type Ma2B2, next Ma2BC and MABCD. Okay, these are very important. Here I will write here Ma2B2 and Ma2BC and MABCD. And the geometrical isomerism is not possible from square planar complexes of Ma4 here Ma4 complex and Ma3B type of complexes. Yes, so what is the meaning of Ma2B2? Here M means central metal atom. This is the central metal atom. A2 means here same type of two ligands, same type of A ligand, and there are two B type B ligands. There are two A ligands and there are two B ligands. Okay, next here in this type of complex, M means central metal atom. A2 means there are two A ligands, and BC means B is different and C is different. That means finally in this complex, in this type, there are three types of ligand. One is A type ligand, another one is B type, and another one is C type ligand. In square planar, how many ligands are there? 4 ligands. Out of 4, 3 ligands are different. Okay. In Ma2B2, here only there are 2 types of ligands. Next, in MABC, here 4 ligands are different. 4 ligands are different. A, B, C, D. Okay. Next, for square planar complexes, to show geometrical isomerism, at least 2 groups should be different. Yes, here why the geometrical isomers? Why geometrical isomers are not possible from Ma4 type of square planar complex? Because here all 4 ligands are same type. Here we know that in square planar complexes, how many ligands are present around the central metal atom? 4 ligands. Here 4 ligands are same type. That's why the geometrical isomerism is not possible in square planar complex of type Ma4, because at least according to the rule, at least 2 ligands should be different. Okay, next, second one, Ma3B. Here also only one ligand is different. Okay, that's why the geometrical isomerism is not possible in square planar complex of Ma3B also. But geometrical isomerism is possible in these type of complexes. Why? Because here 2 different ligands are there. Here also there are 2 different ligands. Here also 4 different ligands are there. Here 2 different ligands, here 3 different ligands, and here 4 different ligands. Next, geometrical isomerism is not possible in tetrahedral complexes. Yes, geometrical isomerism is possible only in square planar complexes and octahedral complexes. It is not possible in tetrahedral complexes. Why it is not possible in tetrahedral complexes? Because they having 2 different types of monodentate ligands, because the relative position of monodentate ligands attached to the central metal atom are same with respect to each other. That's why the geometrical isomerism is not possible in tetrahedral complexes. Yes, examples are given for geometrical isomerism. Yes, this is their Ma2B2 type. Now tell me, the geometrical isomerism is possible in this type? Yes, it is possible. Why? Because there are two different ligands are there. Example, this is the example. Okay, here this compound, this type of compound, they show geometrical isomerism. And how many geometrical isomers are possible from this compound? From this compound, there are two geometrical isomers are possible. One is cis, another one is trans. Okay, now let us discuss the structure of this compound. Here, what is the central metal atom here? Platinum. This is the central metal atom. And how many types of ligands are there? There are two types of ligands are there. One is amine group, another one is chloride group. Yes, you just attach. This is amine group and this is also amine group. This is chloride and this is also chloride. Here, the same types of ligands are adjacent to each other. Here, this is also amine group and this is also amine group. These two amine groups are adjacent to each other. That's why this type of isomer is called a cis isomer. We have to name it as cis isomer. Next, in the second structure here, the amine groups are opposite to each other. The amine groups are opposite to each other. That's why these type of isomers are called trans isomer. Okay. Here what you have to remember? You have to remember the geometrical isomers are possible in square planar complex type of Ma2B2 and Ma2BC and MABCD. Okay, this is the example for Ma2BC. Here also see in type of Ma2BC square planar complexes, here also there are two isomers are possible. One is cis, another one is trans. Now you just write the structure of this compound here. What is the central metal atom? Platinum is central metal atom. And how many amine groups are attached here? Two amine groups. Okay. Next, how many NO2 groups are there? Only one NO2 group you attach here. Next, one chlorine. Okay, see here. This is amine group and this is amine group. These two amine groups are adjacent to each other. That's why this isomer is called a trans isomer. Next, in the second structure, this is a trans isomer. So why it is a trans isomer? Because here the amine group, two amine groups are opposite to each other. That's why this complex is a trans isomer. Next, here the square planar complex of the type MABXL or MABCD. Here in this type, how many different
ligands are there? How many different types of ligands are there? There are four different types of ligands are there. So here for MABCD type of square planar complexes, how many isomers are possible? Here, how many isomers are possible? Total 3 isomers are possible for Ma2B2 and Ma2BC. For this type of complex, there are 2 isomers are possible. For Ma2BC type of complexes, there also 2 isomers are possible. For MABCD type of square planar complexes having the 3 isomers. 3 isomers are possible for this type of complex. Okay, so here Ma2BC. Example is given. This is the compound. Here this is the platinum. This is the central metal atom. Here one is chlorine, bromine. You just attach chlorine and here this is what? Bromine. Next, what is the ligand? Amine group. You attach amine group. This is amine group. Next, pyridine. Py means pyridine. Here, now it is a cis or trans. We don't know whether it is cis or trans. Here, the same group elements, are adjacent to each other. We know that halogens means fluorine, chlorine, bromine. All halogens have same properties. So here, these two groups, two halogens are adjacent to each other. That's why this is what? This is a cis. This is cis. And next come to here. Just you change the position of these two ligands. Just change the position of these two ligands. Even if you change the position of these two ligands, then also it is a cis isomer. Why? Because we are not changing the position of halogens. The position of halogens are same. Two halogen groups are adjacent to each other. That's why it is the cis isomer. But in the third structure, two halogen groups are opposite to each other. That's why it is a trans isomer. Okay, here what you have to remember actually, here just only 3 points you have to remember. Ma2B2 type of complexes show how many isomers? Two isomers. Next, Ma2BC type of complexes show how many isomers? Two isomers. Here one is a cis, another one is a trans. Here also one is a cis, another one is trans. Next, MABCD type of complexes show three types of isomers. Here, two cis isomers, it shows two cis isomers and one trans isomers. Only you just remember only these 3 points. Okay. Next, let us discuss geometrical isomerism in case of octahedral complexes. Till now, we have learned geometrical isomerism in square planar complexes. Now, we are going to discuss about geometrical isomerism in octahedral complexes. Now, tell me, in octahedral complexes, how many ligands are present? Octa means 6. Geometrical isomerism is exhibited by octahedral complexes of type Ma2B2 and Ma2BC. Sorry, this is wrong. These are not. Here I am mentioning. Here, the geometrical isomerism is possible in case of Ma4B2 and Ma2 Ma2BB2 and Ma3B3. Okay, and it is not possible in Ma6 type of complex and Ma5B type of complex. Okay, we, we will continue in next class. In next class, we will discuss about geometrical isomerism in octahedral complexes. Thank you all.